Zip, Randy 10 and shrinking, Vic 4 to 5, so on and so forth. Yeah. So is it? And by the way, I'm going to ask, and if I ask a question, you if you can unmute yourself and just unmute and then remute, that would be awesome. And we'll come back. I want this to be. This isn't like all presentation, okay? This isn't all training. I'm going to be educating you on some of the things that we're doing or that we're thinking about doing or planning to do, but I also want to get your thoughts. So it suffice it to say, it looks like everybody here on the call sees the value in having this type of network group and continuing to do so. Anybody have any observations of your own? I'm going to give you some of my thoughts, but I really wanted to start out, kind of you. Number one, we are the Friday before a holiday weekend, so I don't want this to go unsaid. I do appreciate, and it's very honoring to me and to the group that you've taken an hour here or so to be part of this, because it really is, I think, an investment that I don't want to diminish. Anybody have anything you want to open your mic and just say anything that you think you've learned from this time of networking? Just open your mic.
Oh, the main thing I've observed is sometimes some groups are sloppy on time management. They don't start on time. You have a hard time getting out on time. And also that the attendance has dropped off on some groups. So our group is held up. There's just a few others that have just, if they're sloppy at those tasks or they don't show up, I'll probably not be in those groups much longer.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good observation.
I've done the same. I tried a lot of groups and I basically only participate in this one.
Okay. That's good. Randy?
So it's not totally an answer to this question, but I've decided that small businesses, which was my focus, is really not the right place for me to go. I'm not getting the referrals, and number two, they don't have the money to pay for a consultant. And so I'm going back to what I did best, which is consulting to full businesses. And then the question is, do people in these different networking groups have the kind of contacts that I would need to get into those kinds of businesses?
Good. So you're doing some assessment of that most investment of your most valuable time. And frankly, I've had that conversation. I stumbled into this group, when there were 14 people in the room and we had a different name and I could never remember it, but Lisa and Mark know. And it's not important. Only thing is that at the time I came in, I was really just dealing with CEOs that could write $20,000 checks. And I did that. I was still technically retired. So, but over time, you do continue to evaluate and you think about, okay, where am I at on my journey? So that's actually, it is an answer to the question, Randy. It is a learning that you're experiencing because it's given you an opportunity to kind of assess it. What else? Any other thoughts? Again, this is good. And I'm recording this, by the way, so I'm going to go back and consume what I hear from you guys in more detail.
Okay, so I have a few observations, David. So I think for myself, at least for our business, it's about meeting the right contacts, like what Randy was talking about. Because these are tough times, and having, those contacts for people that have the flexibility and have the money to support things like what we do. The other thing is, I think I've been to several groups, and not only the time management, but there's not a lot of structure, and it's kind of a free for all, and everybody's like in their own little, exclusive friend chats, and it's not really about business.
Right.
So, being friendly is one thing, and that's great, but you want to be there to promote contacts, promote your business, help others, not just, hey, like, what's going on?
Yeah, so the check-in part takes too long. Hey, Robbie D, go ahead.
It's all about the people. You go to certain groups that
and you
reconnected
feel
platform.
warmth. You feel the aura of the group. That makes sense. And then you go to some places where it's like, this is not for me. So it's really finding an environment that you feel comfortable in. I've been to networking groups, did not feel comfortable, been to other ones, and it was like coming home.
Good.
So I think the most important part is finding a place to be comfortable.
Right. Yeah, and again, everybody has their reasons. Lisa, I saw your mic was open. Can you want to?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking one of the things I've learned because I've been networking in groups since 2007, I believe. So, one of the big things that I've learned and seen over the years is that you can go to a great group, but it's the connections that you make and the time that you take with building those relationships, because it's like that adage, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And I know when I've been busy and I haven't had time to like give and do more one-on-ones and stuff, then I'm not getting as much either. And so it really is being purposeful in those connections and following up and following through. That's one of the big things I've learned.
Awesome. Yeah, Randy, did you have something else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Robert hit the nail on the head with the social aspects. I mean, I think I'm a social kind of a person, so I need to interact with people. And so that's why I always show up early, because I try to do that outside the area of the networking. But then after that, the social satisfies the COVID-19 trapped inside thing. But if it doesn't yield business, then it's really a waste of time.
Yeah. And that's, again, I would agree with you, Randy, in terms of, I mean, there are people that do, I mean, if you're just wanting the connection, I mean, I've seen people pop into our group that really just wanted to see some humans. So I do think the social aspect of it is important. But I mean, words are intentional, whether you know, I mean, if you hear them enough, be like Ricky Jean and write a song about it. But the words that we say are very intentional, and it is an investment. And so it's really, that's what Randy just said earlier. That's what is we're making an investment, and we also need to make sure, be somewhat self-observant and self-aware and say, okay, am I getting the return on the investment that I'm making in this networking group or any other? And I expect, and I honor everybody that does that. You understand? I mean, that's what we should all be doing, is if we, and it's not just what we get out of the return we get out of the investment, by the way. I think there's a lot of people on this Zoom right now, and I for sure know there's a ton of people in Richardson Plano Networkers that are there to serve. And being able to serve is a return on your investment, okay? So it's not just, you know, what you monetize, right? I mean, yeah, that may be a big deal if you're trying to pay the bills, you need a group that, you know, is transactional, then great. But you know, again, it's a marathon, it's investment, it's compounding over time. So yeah, you guys are all hitting on the things. Homa, did you have something?
Yes,
I'd be interested to know how people in the group use LinkedIn in conjunction
Yeah,
with
we're
their
talking
network.
about that, Dick. Good tee up. We'll be talking about that in a minute.
Good.
well,
So
what I was going to share is that in most of the groups that I go to, they already had a really good structure to begin with in their in-person meetings. So they were pretty good at transitioning like this group into Zoom and just following the same agenda. And the moderators were very strict on time, so it doesn't kind of lose control. The only thing that I miss that has not been as effective for me is the in-person interaction during the open networking portions before or after the meeting, because that's where I usually develop the most connections. I think it's really hard for people to kind of know a lot about you in that 30 seconds. So especially that I provide a very visual product and advertise it personally, it's a little bit harder to do it, on video and not being in front of as many people. So that's kind of been my challenge.
Okay. I think you're not the only one that has that challenge, by the way, so that's good. Anybody else? Any other thoughts that haven't been?
One observation is, like, since we aren't in person, I think the one-on-ones have become more important, because you can't, like you said, you can't do it in 30 seconds. And you don't have your 10-minute spotlight that often. So one-on-ones are more important nowadays than they were before.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that. Michael?
Yeah, the only thing that I saw that somebody did, and it was actually, it was an introduction to a BNI group, and they did something that was very interesting during this COVID pandemic. They did breakout rooms in the front of their meeting where, and I don't know how they did this, and maybe Dave, you've played enough with Zoom to know, they did where when you were a new person, you were randomly put in breakout rooms to get to know different people within the group, so that when the meeting started, you didn't feel like you were an outsider. That was the only thing that I saw that was like a positive way to do that, rather than whenever you're like somebody, like everybody else is saying, the Zoom call is the whole thing. And really it puts an onus on face-to-faces or one-to-ones.
Yeah, that's an interesting, I like that. I mean, that's an interesting thought.
The Garland Chamber does that for their monthly meetings.
Yeah, because I have especially if you have a larger group that show up 30 minutes, if we got enough people showing up like at 11:30, between 11:30 and 12, we could, that's easy enough to do. I have the enterprise Zoom account. I can actually, put people in Zoom rooms, and I could do that. That's actually, that I'm making a note of that. That's a possibility to improve during this. I mean, again, I still want, we still have the hybrid. I don't know. I mean, I've had a number of people come in that are going to multiple network groups, and there's not a lot of what we do on Wednesdays going on yet. And that's a pretty interesting challenge, by the way.
What if people want to stick around and do one-on-ones as an extension of the Wednesday or Friday meetings? Do we have that capability?
Yeah, we do, except that the only it's not a technical capability, it's more of a management capability. I don't know how long, I mean, I sometimes have meetings like today immediately following it. So to tie up this Zoom means I can't have another Zoom. That's the only limitation there. But I encourage people, even within the meeting, I think a good practice is, reach out to somebody, even message them directly. I was on EDN's meeting yesterday, and I think I reached out to Mark and 2 or 3 other people, just personal, private messaged on the chat and said, hey, I want to follow up on this or that you mentioned during the meeting. So that's a good practice. And then, everybody here obviously has your own Zoom account. Even if it's an unpaid account, you can do I think a 30-minute or 40, I don't know what the limitation is for an unpaid account now, but I think it's like 40 minutes or whatever.
Well, and I've got an unpaid account, and it does tell you have 45 minutes, but I've run a little longer based on the topics that I do, and it doesn't like kick you off or anything. I think that's based on the bandwidth. What I will share also is, I think, Dave, you're doing a great job on the hybrid. I've gotten a lot of groups that have tried the hybrid and gotten so frustrated with the process, even that they've either gone all Zoom or all in person and forced their group that direction. So I think you're actually the only one I know that's still doing the hybrid and doing it effectively.
Well, if it wasn't effective, we wouldn't be doing it. And that's one of I think I'm getting feedback from both the people in the room and on Zoom saying they're getting value out of it. So I'm going to continue. Steve, did you have something?
Quickly, does Zoom have different levels of membership or product, or you're just either a paid member or not paid member?
Yeah, it has different levels. The level, what I have is roughly, if you have to buy everything that Zoom offers if you went to Zoom, and it would be about $200 a month, but I get it for a pretty good deal. So,
Hey, I had a question for everybody. Does anybody use Facebook Rooms? Have you ever heard of that? It's like, I think it's like a breakout room, but it's on Facebook.
yeah.
I think they just started some of that. If you have a group, I know you can do rooms or something within that group. Like I run 2 different private groups
Mhm.
with my business on Facebook, but and I've seen where it's like create some sort of like private room or and I've not ever done that, so I don't have experience with
Yes. So the answer is yes. I know I'm aware of it. I think that the interesting thing is, and I mean, Mark and I have talked about some chambers using some new tech and stuff like that. Look, I've been dealing with tech for 40 years. I'm not a programmer or a techie guy like Mark. I've been dealing with the actual use of technology. And anytime you introduce a new answer to a existing question when it comes to tech, you lose. It's like changing the venue of our meeting room. A lot of people wonder, why do you keep going back to this restaurant? Why do you force yourself? I can't tell you. I mean, Mark's heard this. We've heard this, you know, many times when we were back in the room. And it seems silly that you would force yourself into that. But once you get people, we're all humans, right? So once you know where to go and when to go, if somebody jacks with that, it derails a substantial percentage, actually. When we moved just up the street, Richardson Plano Networkers, from the Egg and I to the original Pancake House, Mark knows this, we were pushing we were overflowing the room at that, and we only moved like 5 minutes away, and we lost half of the people for 6 months. It doesn't work well. I mean, I was honestly pretty amazed. A lot of people don't know. We only shut down 1 week because we had to figure out what the heck was going on. And I'm gonna go to share my screen. Thank you guys for all the input. And again, I am recording this, so I do appreciate. And if you got more to say, I'll probably we may have some time at the end. But I do want to go through to kind of talk about, because Lisa and Grover and Randy and I and some other folks, we've been doing some things to say, okay, how do we pivot and so on. So I'm going to share my screen, and if you'll just bear with me for a second, and I'm going to go through a few slides and just kind of bring you up to speed. I know some of you have heard already about some of the things we're trying to do, but I think most everybody here, aside from a few folks, probably know enough to be dangerous, but really don't understand necessarily how at least the dots connect in my weird brain. Okay, so I'm going to share this PowerPoint, and we've talked a lot about kind of what we're doing today. Can everybody see the PowerPoint? Just nod. I can see faces. Okay, so I'm going to bring the full screen. So right now, and what's been kind of part of the fabric of Richardson Plano Networkers over the last year or so is we have our regular Wednesday meetings, and as we all know, those were being in person. Then we had to pivot and we did them on Zoom, and now we're doing them hybrid. We also have another thing that we provided that I believe is intended to have value to the group is the private Facebook group. That's intended for, sharing announcements, sharing interesting stuff between meetings, and just improving our ability to build connection and also do that. And then what I'm calling the Stay Connected and Thrive training, these Friday sessions. It was intentional. It was initially out of necessity. Mark knows this, Lisa knows this, people have been around for a while. We overflowed the room so regularly we had to keep pushing people out of the room. So we said, okay, we need to come up with either a bigger room, which didn't work for our agenda, or have another meeting. We tried doing what we do on Wednesdays on another day of the week, and it didn't work. But then we said, well, really, people need to be educated. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all business owners. Dick asked a great question. How are we integrating our whole world into, the new world into what we're doing as people using LinkedIn, Facebook. We're all thinking about that. I think most entrepreneurs, when something gets in the way, like a pandemic, or your customers aren't there when you go call in their office, like Michael was talking about, because they're working from home. We all have to figure out a way. We're not just entrepreneurs, we're entrepreneurs. We want to figure out a way to get to where we can at least accomplish what our objective was. And that to me is a hallmark of what I call warriors, as well as effective, let's call it effective entrepreneurs. So this is like duh. We do have a massive shift in where we're doing business. As we were talking about, actually, in the open discussion, we were talking about commercial real estate. We're talking about a lot of things. And I think that it's generally, and we've even talked about it throughout the COVID, throughout the shutdown, throughout whatever you want to call it, about how things are changed, and literally they will never be changed, or we will never go back to the way they were. Now, we may recover more of what was there, but how we did things, where we're doing things, how we achieve the result, including in Richardson Plano Networkers or any networking group. I could do this talk, and we'll be doing this kind of conversation with a lot of other networking groups, whether I've already been asked to have conversations with some chambers, some rotaries. I'd love to talk to any other networking group. You mentioned the networking groups that you're in. I want to be of service. Again, this is not, for one thing, just to be clear, and I think most of you on this Zoom know my heart, know that I retired in 2005, know that what I do here is not really work for me. To me, this is part of my ideal day, serving you, serving this network, figuring out how to add more value, how to make a difference. It isn't just about making money. If money flows from what I'm doing to make a difference, that's a beautiful thing. But my first step is how can I improve? How can we improve? And so I appreciate everybody's willingness to share that today from your perspective. And if you have more things to share, you all know my email, we can set up a one-on-one. I would love to get your insights. But ultimately, what we need to do here is we need to stay ahead of the curve. We can't just wait to get back in the room. We can't, as we've proven. And the reason why our numbers, by the way, are normally going into the school time. A lot of you, I think I've mentioned this to a few of you offhandedly, but normally I was looking at our trends, and we can, Lisa, and you can look at it too, is this week and the week before and the week before that, they kind of ramped down to where we're averaging maybe 20 people. We've averaged a good 10 to 20% more each week through this pandemic than we were averaging even last year when we were in the room. So it may not feel like that if you're on the Zoom and you only see 25 people in the room, but then we had 12 people in the room or whatever. So it's still, we're having that kind of impact, but then how can we do more? I mean, one of the things that I'm continually evaluating for my own time is how can I have more impact for the time and the energy I'm investing. We talked about what have we learned since March. You guys did a great job of giving that. And then the other thing we've talked about a little bit, and I want to continue to talk more about, is how do we improve our networking. And so I kind of this was going to be where we would do some brainstorming, but I kind of wanted to do that first because I didn't want you guys to be quiet. I wanted you to, which I didn't expect you to be, but I really wanted you to get your own thoughts out there. So, but the key is, it's not, as the Dick asked a great question, it's your efforts, your energies you're putting in. If you're only looking at what you're doing in your face-to-face networking or in your networking groups, then you're not looking at the whole picture. I mean, what are you trying to do or wanting to do or doing, depending on where you're at in the curve, with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the primary business to business platform, or the first place where if you want to get in connecting with somebody that does business, that's a good place. Now you can market and make and rate. You do want your awareness of who you are to be out there on Facebook and other places. And yes, you can continue to build relationships with your page. But the question is, how much? You need to look at. We've had several trainers over the last few weeks, and we're going to have some more that will say, this is how you make more of an impact with Facebook. This is how you make more of an impact with LinkedIn. We've had these already, right? Here's how you can use YouTube. Here's how you can use Zoom. So the question is, what have we learned? Well, we've learned technology, and those worlds are colliding in a way. We are going to be working, and the people we're serving and trying to connect with are going to be working. And physical barriers aren't as important or aren't as limiting as we had in the past, right? I mean, everybody would agree, right? Just nod. So I need a little bit of human interaction. So nod yes or no, but give me something, because I am looking at your faces, because this is crazy. I don't like talking to a screen, but anyway, so here's the key: is what does your network look like? So, and I have basically the one piece of this is your face-to-face networking, and we tend to think of that as kind of our primary. Those of you in Richardson Plano Networkers, you guys are brilliant. I mean, you guys are really the people that are really core to this group, the regular 150 people that rotate through the regular meetings today and have over time. Maybe some are not, and some are back, and some are, but you guys really know what it means to connect, then have one-on-ones, then build relationships, then find the common bonds, and then build those. Not with everybody, but you come up with a core people. A lot of people struggle, and how do you do the same thing, or how do you do something similar in the virtual environment, which is now more important than it ever was before. So the key is, it's all about, what do I always say? Your most valuable asset is your time. So if you're spending may be the case, because if you're not getting a return, Randy pointed it out earlier, Mark and I talked about this many times. I know we all think about this, is I don't want to spend my time. I've only got so many hours on this planet. I want to invest it. I want to get a return. In fact, I wanted the return to go for generations into the future. I want to do things that are bigger than myself, and that means you need, it's a team sport. So really the question is, how do we leverage? Right now, I see, at least when I'm looking at my own efforts, and if you look at yours differently, that's cool. But I see a lot of what I'm doing is spending not only the time in the virtual platforms, the LinkedIn. I've got 8,000 LinkedIn connections, okay? You say, oh, I'd love to have 8,000 LinkedIn connections. Well, guess what? What are you going to do with them, right? I'm just saying happy birthday and good job change and keeping in touch with them that way doesn't really deepen the relationship much. It's like I look and I'll say, okay, today was somebody's birthday, and I said happy birthday, and then I looked, and the last time I communicated with them was the last time I said happy birthday, right? That's not building a relationship. But if you have in these virtual, there's almost 1,600 people in Richardson Plano Networkers. There's 30 to 50 people when you walk into the room. The question is, who is it in that room that you're going to ultimately bond and connect with? You're not going to connect with everybody. And the other thing is, timing is everything. Timing is everything. I know people get frustrated. We got 6 or 10, or whatever, however many people selling insurance or financial products or whatever in any given meeting, right? So, you walk in, I keep showing up, telling them what you do. Nobody asks you, right? You say, okay, is this working? Well, I don't know, because guess what? I'm not always buying life insurance. I'm not always even buying car insurance. I'm not always buying health insurance. I'm not always buying a house. I'm not always taking a trip to Japan, Mika. I'm not always, I'm not like Lisa. I'm not going on a vacation every other week. Their timing for me is everything. And it's the same thing with everybody, every one of us in our network. Okay. So we're all in the same boat here. So, you know, sorry, I just brought the same slide. Okay, so here's some things. One of the things we looked at, and some of you have heard, some of you are already part of Be Connected, and we're going to talk about Be Connected, but I want you to understand we looked very closely. Some of us, myself in particular, but some of us, we looked at, okay, how could we maybe leverage for the LinkedIn community? We had a speaker talking about how to build relationships and how to grow your relationships with LinkedIn, right? And fundamentally, if you heard what he said, is you're really looking at Sales Navigator. I know Luke, for example, is getting Sales Navigator because his company buys it for 25 bucks a month. Beautiful. But you know, is that going to accomplish what we accomplish in our face-to-face networking? And I would say it can, but it takes a heck of a lot of effort and time to make that happen. And if you look at the programs, and you can pay for the programs to do that, it's going to take some time. The other one is it's out there because they've got 5 million users. There's 70 million on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's about a 5 million on Alignable, which has been out there. And that's all a platform built on, basically you can get for free, but they harass you every day to upgrade to their paid platform, which roughly, if you want to have access to anybody outside of your neighborhood, because they limit it by geographic area. So if you want to have somebody in your network that's, let's say, in some other region like Michigan or where people, New York, people that I have, it's about 80 bucks a month. Okay, so again, I'm only sharing this because we have this Be Connected is our plan, is to be part of the fabric of what we do. It doesn't necessarily mean everybody has to do it, but I think it's going to really increase our capabilities. What I want to do now is I'm going to stop the share, and I'm actually going to show you one quick video. It's like a minute and a half, and it's actually from my my website, my Be Connected website. So I want to show you this. So I'm going to bring up my website, and if you go to my website, or just go to Be Connected, BEEKONNECTED.com, you'll see right at the top is this video. So I think I should have connected, but I'm going to play it anyway. Hopefully y'all can hear this.
Connections are the lifeblood to grow your business, but current times have made quality connections hard to find, if not impossible. This is why Be Connected created the Connection Generator, a highly sophisticated, powerful search engine algorithm that will completely revolutionize the way you network and accelerate your results. Once set up, instantly the Connection Generator delivers the right people for your business using its proprietary artificial intelligence matchmaking technology. Think of it like dating software, but for the business world. We just changed the questions. Instant messaging, multiple ways to connect, and a 5-star user-generated rating system creates an experience that eliminates spam and wasted effort without ever leaving your home or office. Connection Generator is super simple to use. In fact, people from all backgrounds and industries, from CEOs to entrepreneurs to work-at-home moms, use the Connection Generator to find their ultimate business connections. The Connection Generator scans industry, geographic location, and even target audiences to match you to the very best of the best, to include highly successful leaders just like you. So if you're ready to start leveraging technology, you're just a click away. Once you're a member, best of all, we can show you how to qualify for free continuing membership. It's our way of saying thanks for being a part of Be Connected. So what are you waiting for? Click now and get started today. Connections are the life.
Okay, so that's, sorry, I need to stop this video. All right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint. So fundamentally, that's in a nutshell what the Connection Generator. There's other benefits to Be Connected. Just real quickly, let me escape this for a second, and I've got to go back to sharing my screen. Sorry. And we've got. I'm trying to get through this. I'm not so one of the things, just to be clear, I'm not giving you a whole detailed presentation or whatever. That takes, I can send you about a 16-minute video that'll go through what the full capabilities and all the things you want to do. But I do want to talk to you, just share enough to where you kind of know why and what we're doing. So let me go back to sharing my PowerPoint. And so basically it's really, there's three components. What we're really focused on here in terms of integrating, when I say integrated into the fabric, if you know, on Fridays we do training. I'm a big believer in always learning, right? The other thing is, with our trainings on Friday, you're always going to learn something. However, if you decide, as many of us know, if you decide to like run down that path and learn how to use LinkedIn, or learn how to brand your business, or learn how to create an online course, or whatever you want to do, that's another few $100 to a few $1,000. I mean, and actually one of the things I'm going to do here shortly, just to make sure everybody that's here, is I'm going to post a few links. One is to if you can see, there's a results guide, and it's really how to look at your networking and stuff that I'll gift to you, that you can look at, and it has a couple of things on looking at your benefit. So these are the three components. I'm not going to go in these in detail. There's places where you can do it. Basically, as you saw in that video, if you were able to keep up, was you build a profile. You make a connection. I don't know that I've ever gone like this when I make a connection, but it's a cute picture. And then ultimately to me it's integrating my efforts and literally I want anybody that is going to try and connect with me on LinkedIn. This is just me, by the way. So y'all can decide how you want to handle it. But in my world, I'm going to take anybody that says, hey, I want to connect. I'm going to say, this is the community in which I really connect with people and build relationships. And once you understand the connection generator, you'll understand why, and so on. So basically, it's just you put in your confirmation information, you ask for a connection. You can request for somebody specific, or you can just say, I want somebody that aligns with my key client, and you can have multiple things in there. It'll line you up with somebody, but it's permission based. So in other words, it's not spam. It's just like in our meetings, somebody stands up and gives their 30 seconds and you say, or you meet, Mika meets Mark for the first time and she says, hey, I like that. Mark, let's have a one-to-one. Well, can she have a one-to-one with Mark if Mark doesn't approve her having a one-to-one with Mark? No, she can't. Okay, this is the simplest thing. It's like, again, they bill it. This is like Match.com. It's like, it's basically dating software for business. So then you suggest, and then because of our platform and everything, you can integrate Zoom, you can do all those things. So you can now expand the scope. So you don't have to go drive, do like Zip does. I know Zip does this. Drive from one side of town to the other to participate in this group and that group. You can begin to start to aggregate, curate, and put those connections in one place. Sure, you might have a CRM, whatever, but that's still a very, push type of thing generally. It's not a mutual connection, and that's what we're trying to do. The other thing is, we have a thing where we just do it informally. But if, let's say, and I'll pick on Randy. So Randy has a meeting with Mika, and Mika says, Randy's a jerk. And then, he sold to me the whole time. And Randy's not a jerk, by the way. And I love Randy. So I'm not saying, so they get done with it. And guess what? They call Lisa, they call Dave. Lisa knows this. And Lisa, you can nod your head. We do, and say, hey, this person is really a bad actor. They're not a player. Well, in this, it's just like rating your Uber driver. You rate me, I rate you. We each give each other 5 stars, right? Because we all want to be 5-star connections. That actually goes in to the algorithm to see who you connect with. So really, when we look at next level networking, at least now, there's other things we're going to do that I want to do to enhance things. One of the things is I've been looking at y'all's profiles, and I'm trying to talk to some folks about if we can get at least people in the room long enough, in one place long enough to get a headshot, is actually doing a meeting where maybe on a Friday or some other time where we get people where you can update your headshots, get a professional come in and do them in groups. So give us a deal. But so we still going to have our Wednesday meetings. We want to leverage Be Connected to start bringing in at least those of us that are in leadership to be able to start influencing. See, my goal is where this is at, this Be Connected is there's about 3,000 people and it's growing to 1 million in the next 12 months. So we're at the very early stage. Is the cool thing is the pool is filled right now with some pretty high-powered people. One of the reasons why I wanted Mika to be here is because some of those people are ready to travel. And the same thing with Lisa. Those people are, these people are really trying to continue to take their pivot and get to the next level. So maybe not everybody in the room at Richardson, Plano Networkers, or East Dallas, or even in your chamber is in a place where they can buy what you're selling, or like Randy said, maybe they're outside of his core audience. Well, guess what? I was just had a one-on-one with somebody in Be Connected via Zoom that would potentially be somebody that Randy could help. And I actually mentioned his name. So see, all of a sudden you can expand what you already know how to do. The beautiful thing is I'm finding that people that are already in Be Connected don't know how to do what you do. You guys are going to be the 5 stars in people that know how to network the way we do. So, and we're still going to do the Friday meetings. There's nothing's going away. We're just, if you know me, and we're always trying to continue to take it to the next level. In addition to the Facebook group, by the way, we're going to have a Richardson Plano Networkers Facebook page, okay? Because we're going to pivot here, and that's going to be not a private page, right? That's going to be one that people can see what we're doing, see who we are, and that kind of thing. Just like we're not for profit, and we're not going to a for profit. In fact, just so to be clear, I am what they call a qualified founding affiliate. I'm number 147 in the company. Now there's, 4-digit, 5-digit numbers for people, but I've been doing diligence consulting with them. I don't have any financial stake in the company, just to be clear, but I'm very convinced that they are going to achieve, and they do have a proprietary platform that is going to be a game changer here. So I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm better than the weather forecasters, but I actually believe in this, and this is why I'm going to leverage this to provide more value to you guys. You come to see me now, and I can say, go. I told somebody this. I can tell you to go look at my LinkedIn connections, my 8,000 connections, see anybody you'd like to be introduced to, but I can't. Chances are I won't have the time to navigate through that. This will enable me to say, hey, this is a person that's in my network and Be Connected. So where we are today, just to be clear, is the very early stages of this. So if you're saying, well, how's it compare? Well, I would tell you that really LinkedIn Sales Navigator is in early majority, kind of to the top of the curve. The market probably is about 70 million plus. I think there's more market there. Alignable is still in that innovator stage, and I don't think their model works the way it is. Plus, so the thing is really here's the punchline. If you want to be part of Be Connected, if you want training, I'm not going to get into the training. I'm really more talking about just being there. Somebody that shows up in the room that's the connection generator. It's $99 a month. As I said, Sales Navigator is $80, or sorry, $99 a month. It's not $99 a month. It's $99 one time. If you refer 2 other people, then it's free for life. And the reason why that's important to you today, and the reason why is you say, well, I'm going to wait till it gets to be bigger. Well, guess what? What we're doing, Lisa, myself, anybody that's on board right now, we're working towards anybody in the group that becomes part of this. We want to get the next person in, because this is not a multi-level thing, by the way. This is just, there's an affiliate program. If you're interested, that's the one far to the right. I'm not going to talk about that. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that offline. But it's not everybody, can't be an affiliate unless, you want to be. The real focus here is how do you augment your current network? So we can talk more about it. I'm running out of time. So again, a monthly subscriber. Some people go, I don't want to ever refer anybody. And that's okay, because $49 a month is cheaper than $80 a month, cheaper than $90 a month for the other options. So if you're going to be part of a network and be part of continually using the connection generator and stuff like that, or if you want the access to the training and those $26,000 worth of value, then you can do that. Anyway, that's pretty much the bottom line there. I just wanted to share that. I'm going to stop the sharing, and just open it up to any other questions. We are now at 12:56. I will tell you, we do have a meeting next Friday. This is different, right? So next Friday we have a speaker coming in, and guess what she's going to talk about? How to build an online class or online program. And there is the $299 option has in it Tracy Repchek's program, which is worth about $8,000. It's in the back office already in Be Connected. So I suggest you come to the 45-minute and learn how you would go about doing that. That'll give you a taste of that. But if you're already in Be Connected, and you can do that. Any questions about that? I know I blew through it very fast. I just wanted to get your input and give you some ideas. Homa?
Well, I didn't have a chance to come on any of your webinars. I apologize, but I did watch the videos, and I do have some questions just in general about the matching thing, and maybe this is something that other people are thinking about. Let's say that I think somebody is a great client and I reach out to them, but they don't know me yet, and just based on my information, they're like, oh no, I don't need that. But they don't know why I'm trying to reach out to them, or the value yet, because we haven't had a conversation. So to me, it'll be like when it's if it's like a dating site and the person has to also want to talk to you, then it makes it hard to really have that opportunity for like the sales or
So
introduction and sharing kind of your value.
Let me answer it with an example you really understand.
Okay.
So I hear your 30 seconds in the room, and I'm not interested in makeup.
Right.
And you reach out to me for a one-on-one, which you have. Do I have a one-on-one with you? Right. Because this community is the same. It's not transactional. You're really trying to build the same kind of online community, virtual community that we're doing in the room. So people aren't just, in fact, it would be the same thing as if you sign up for Richardson, you come to Richardson Plano Networkers meeting, and then you try to make your rounds and pitch everybody in the room with, Mary Kay.
Right.
How well is that going to go? It won't go well in this. This is permission based, so it is very. You're exactly right. That's the way it's built. There's a term that we use as far as intentional.
Yeah.
Connections, as opposed to the 35 requests that I get to connect on LinkedIn every day.
Yeah, and this group is great because we understand what a true one-to-one is. But I have actually encountered some people where they assume that because they personally are not interested in makeup or whatever they think I sell, they're like, they don't even have one-to-one because they think it's a waste of our time. I'm like, well, I know many people that might benefit from your business, and you're not allowing yourself that opportunity because you don't want to meet with me. So anyway, that's
actually, it's beautiful because you've just identified the opportunity. The opportunity is, and that's one of the reasons why I'm front loading this with at least my intention and the intention of the leadership here, because we want to continue. I will tell you, I've already made a number of connections with people that on the surface, they reached out to me and I said, yeah, I'm not sure, but we had a conversation. It's just like having a conversation with, anybody on this call right now. I come away going, whoa, there's some things there I didn't even realize. Okay. And that's the whole spirit that this group is endeavoring. The people that are leading this group, that's what it's about. It's not about okay, I got 8,000 people. Let's see if I can find a way to get them to pay attention to me. Any other questions? It's 1 o'clock, by the way. You know what? I'm just going to do this because I'm just going to keep it open for a little bit. Anybody that wants to bail can bail at their will. I won't be offended or hurt. But if you have any more questions, we can do it. I've actually got somebody I think is going to pop in here that wants to have a one-on-one, just because I told him I didn't want to change platforms. But any other questions or thoughts?
Well, Homa, to your point earlier, though, I mean, one of the benefits of any network is you could say you want to get to see George Bush, all right? And so rather than just reaching out to George Bush and trying to set up meaning you'd send George Bush's name around to your network and say, who knows him well enough to introduce me? So now you become somebody who's known by somebody that he or she knows, and that's the power of networking.
Right. Any other questions, thoughts? One of the things that I really...
By the way, David, that was very valuable.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Randy. Hopefully, I was just trying to... The main reason I did it was, you know, you can go to. Oh crap! I forgot. I was going to post. Let me post some links for those that are still here, and I'll try and remember. Yeah, I appreciate you too, Steve. Thank you. Let me add a couple of links here. I put the roster in there already, right? Okay, so this is there's 3 links that I'm putting in here.
So Dave, I have a question whenever you get done with that.
Go ahead, Mike.
So we all know how to network because we do network, and
Right.
and we're in Plano Richardson Networkers. So how does the algorithm come into play at that point with the Be Connected system? Because if they're marketing the algorithm, then what are they connecting at that point if you're not really doing the process of the face-to-face and that kind of thing?
So good question. The real fundamental here is, let me give you an example. So I walk into the room and there's 40 people in the room, and I'm in a new networking room. I want to have a one-on-one. For me, it's a little easy because I'll meet with just about anybody. But there's also people that if I knew before we had the one-on-one that we would align so well with regard to maybe our vocation, our avocation, the partner needs, all that information is in the algorithm. So in other words, it might be the things I like. I mean, I like to sing. I mean, it may be that, okay, of the 10, if you could walk into your master networkers room, right, and say, okay, here's the person that I should meet with first. Would that be of value? Absolutely. Here's the person here's the person that's most, because if you've had one-on-ones, as many as I have, or even tried to have where you can add value, there's always those people that you got to go, holy crap. I mean, when you and I met, for example, we both had been in ministry. We both had been in, there was a commonality there. There was a thing that made us getting to the point where we could connect more deeply and actually do something with that faster, easier. It's otherwise you're stuck with this. This is augmenting. It's not instead of. It's intended to streamline the process a little bit. I mean, I'm going to do it even with people that are in Richardson Plano Networkers. I'm going to say the best way to connect with me is really if you're in this community and you fill out your profile, then I'll know going in kind of what kinds of things that we already like. And you've put both your public profile and your connection generator profile information in there. So the connection generator is a little more personal, a little more, not just, I mean, it's not a lot of long walks on the beach and stuff like that, or, I like blondes, it's none of that. It's just, but basically it does come with, do I like to travel? Well, Lisa's gonna, if she may like me, she may think I'm cute, but she wants, really, if we're having a business conversation, she's going to want to meet with me if I'm a traveler, right? If I have no interest in travel, it's kind of,
So a follow-up question for you and me, because I know well with my situation. So with
Right.
Lisa, yeah, you've got a big thing with the travel or whatever it might be that their interests are. With my situation with insurance, they're not really going to have I'm interested in insurance. But what it's going to do is basically get you through the 20 to 30 minutes of getting to know you before
Right.
you start to talk about what you do.
Yeah, I had an interest that it's a beautiful thing. That's
And
really
it's
good.
also an issue of trust. I mean, particularly with what you do. Okay.
Well,
If
it's an
people
issue
can
of trust. Yeah, it's a trust with everybody.
Right.
Interestingly enough, and again, I've got a limited sample, so let me be very clear. I've maybe had 10 one-to-ones through that were spun up by the connection generator. I've got people that are connections that I already knew, and we didn't have to have a one-on-one. But the ones of people that I didn't know are interesting because I went, wow. I mean, we got to a different level much quicker without a lot of conversation. You with me? In other words, we got to a place because of the algorithm where we were really aligned. There were things that we go, oh yeah, me too. Okay. Now let's talk about why I really wanted to talk, or where I'm really going here.
Right.
And it was very efficient. I mean, like what would have normally been maybe an hour for me, I run over, right? So it might have been more than an hour one-to-one. It was like in 30 minutes, I was already there with these people, and they were with me, and we were talking about stuff beyond even what we thought we were going to talk about because we
Hey,
already
David,
got
I
through
have
the
another
preliminaries.
question.
Sure.
So have you had a lot of people reach out to you that you haven't reciprocated it?
Um, well, I want to be a good behaving networker here, so the
Okay.
answer is no.
Okay.
I've had some people that I've reached out to because they're in leadership and stuff, and we haven't actually nailed a time. But if you know me or tried to have one-on-ones with me, as open as I am to connecting, that's not always an easy thing either. So I'm not blaming them or even the connection generator, but they are on my list. I mean, I can look at my connection generation screen, my connection screen right now and say, okay, I have met with this person, I have met with this one, I've rated this person, I rate them, I give them my feedback. It's kind of like the thank yous at the end of the day. That's the way you reward somebody. So it's tied together. You see, it's integrated in a way that doesn't create that push noise that you get in the other platforms, even if the people are really good. I mean, I've had some people really do good things with like Sales Navigator or with their LinkedIn reaching out, but I still yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to really like this person or not, And
Yeah, but you have to, I mean, you got to put some effort in. I mean,
yeah,
any person that connects with me, I will go to their profile and see what they have to say.
right.
And then I will respond either, this is what I do, and I don't see any synergy between the two of us. And I'll wait for their response. And then usually, I would say 9 out of 10 times they go, yeah, I understand. And then we don't connect. But the others, I say, yeah, okay, I can see where there may be something. Let's have a phone conversation or whatever. And that's the same thing with the Be Connected. I think the difference is LinkedIn can be overwhelming because of the numbers of people. And I'm getting connections from all over the U.S. I don't see me able to help them, nor them able to help me. I think the difference with Be Connected is that initially we're going to get people reaching out to us that are more local.
Yeah, they're local. If you're looking for, you can bound it by local area. You can bound it by interest. You can bound it by, and then when you create your profile, I mean, it's dependent on you doing your work, right? But you can create your profile. You put in there who's your ideal client, you put in those kind of attributes. So when you say, I'm looking to connect, and you put those parameters in for a particular interaction, it's going to give you like 6 choices, and you're going to say, okay, I really like Dick. I'm going to pick Dick, and I select it. But then Dick still has to say, yeah, I want to have a one-on-one. But the good news is, so far at least, and that's why to me it's really important if this is going to work and become what I think it can be for those and I think it can be a huge value add to a lot of groups that are struggling with continuing in this virtual world to accomplish what we've been successful at accomplishing within the room at Richardson Plano Networkers. And we're not the only ones.
Do you, what do you refer to, what's the name of the people that are on the Be Connected? Are they members? Are they participants? Are they members?
Members.
Okay.
Members.
Okay.
It's a membership. It's a membership. It's just like members of Richardson Plano Networkers. It's same.
Okay. Right.
And maybe it's because that's my filter, because I look at it that way. But the way I view it is a way to do what I already understand how to do, and do it online, and do it in a way that maybe even can be more efficient than what I do in what we've kind of tried to accomplish in Richardson Plano Networkers.
Are they all entrepreneurs?
No. Interestingly enough, the CEO and co-founder, she just sold her company, Public Speakers Bureau. Okay, Randy, we'll see you.
No.
But a lot of that's why I say there's a pretty high-powered group of people with pretty big audiences, because they can't travel, they can't speak, and these people were in her network. So who did she reach out to first, right? Her network. I acquire speakers, and they actually reached out. She was friends with Scott Schilling, and he told me about it, and I said, and the deal was not even as good as it is now, but I just said, okay, sure. It sounds like a good thing. $2.99, not a big deal. And at that point it was $2.99 and $2.99 a month, but you could refer to. And I said, okay, I don't really care about the specifics right now. I'm going to do diligence. So I've been doing diligence with them for 5 months, making sure that they were actually on a trajectory to do exactly what they said. And they just literally launched on 9/1. So the official company launched, but there's about 3,000 people, and the 3,000 people are in there. A lot of them are coaches. There are some people in transition in the corporate world that have just moved out that said, oh, I need to get in this so I can get I can have most people that come out of the corporate, especially older folks, they don't even understand what we're doing here. And so because I have clients that come to me and go, gosh, I don't even know what networking is. I know what it is in the corporate world, which was going to conferences and crap. I don't know what it means to build my network, right? Or I know what it is in the military or whatever. So we do something, we know something that I've found already in the conversations, even the people that are in Be Connected, they know what they're supposed to do, but how to do it and how to be as good as we are, a lot of the people in this group, they don't know. And so I'm excited about the possibility of making this the network that I envision.
You just really made my day with what you just said. No kidding. Because I really, for the longest time, felt like I'm so far behind the curve on this technology, it's not funny.
Right.
But you're right. What you just said about people coming out of the corporate world, they have no idea. And I never considered that. So I feel like I'm a little bit, farther up the pole, if you will.
You are. You're here.
Obviously, this is, in my mind, this is a permanent deal for me.
Right.
I get value every Friday when I come here, and so far I haven't spent. Well, I did join up. Well, I did spend a couple bucks, but the bottom line is this is a higher level here. This is not. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cut anybody else down, but this is not a strafing run. This is not people want hit, dive and get out.
Well,
that's very important.
Yeah, regardless of the group, really, Steve, you got it, because regardless of the group, you just got to find a place where you believe that your investment and your time and your energy is legit, right? Thanks, Mika.
You got it.
So, but anyway, so it is an investment. I didn't share it because I didn't want it to feel manipulative, but I'm going to share this with the 5 of you that are left, and I think I'm still recording. Anybody in Richardson Plano Networkers that becomes a member of Be Connected at any level, for the next year, they won't be obligated to pay the $2, because for me, it's worth the investment. I mean, again, just so you also understand, every dollar I am an affiliate, so I do make money when people join. I'm very transparent about that. However, half of what I make I'm giving to a charity, and the other half I'm going to use to offset costs for Richardson Plano Networkers. I say offset because I've learned that if people don't pay anything, they don't value it. So the $2 will still be there for people that aren't in Be Connected. But if you're making that kind of investment and you're going to be part of us forming and expanding this community, then I'm down for making that, you know, plus that way we don't have to hassle about collecting the $2, worrying about the $2. It's a very high integrity group. Everybody here is that way. I don't worry about that anyway. So anyway.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you join in as the base membership and then at some point upgrade to the?
Absolutely. In fact, here's the real simple decision process, Homa, from my standpoint. If you just want to be part of the community and start, working the connection generator, be part of the network, just go 99, and then you can and then if you say, okay, I'd really like access to, I'm gonna like right now there's coaches in the back end that have a full, we talked about Michelle Cunningham, because she's an ex-Mary Kay, or is a Mary Kay, video. There's a whole video program there if you want to do videos. So, but if somebody was on a Friday and said, hey, I'm going to go jump into this training program or whatever, if they weren't already, with the full access that includes all those classes and training in the back office, I would suggest that they look at that and upgrade, invest that other $200. And again, all of them are the same. The $49 recurring that is there, once you refer two people, whether they're referred at $99 or $299 or $499 if they're affiliates, they count. So you only have to refer two people. So it's just like saying we tell people to be a member of Richardson Plano Networkers. You refer 3 people, you can refer them to us, or you can refer them to somebody in the group. Once you've done that, you're a member. It's the same thing here. You're a member for life, and no more $49 a month or whatever. That none of the others, Sales Navigator, Alignable, none of them are built that way, because again, the beauty of this is they are not, I say we, I'm not an equity partner. They are not being funded by a financial company. They're doing this out of their passion, right? So they're doing this because they believe it's the right thing to do. Obviously, they want it to scale. Obviously, they want it to grow. Obviously, they're going to be making some money on it if it's successful, but they're not going to make those shifts to, they've said over and over and over again, the 2 and free for life is the deal. So, and really, if you look at, so I answered connection generator, 99, start there, $299 if you need the training. If you want to if you want to be an affiliate, then that's an option. I'd do that at $499. And then the sooner you do any of those things, there's one thing I didn't get into with the affiliates is, because it's affiliate, because it's not a multi-level or binary, any of the different compensation. It's just an affiliate. It's a 2-tiered affiliate. So it's like the people that are in insurance and financial services. It's a first tier commission and an override. That's it. So, and the only people that get paid are the affiliates. So everybody else is a member. Now you refer 2 to get your free membership, but those 2 referrals, if you're not an affiliate, accrue to the person who referred you. With me? Makes sense? And the override would accrue to the person that referred them. And then it's done. But then then there's another one. There's, what they call a qualified founding affiliate, which I am, which basically says anybody that's not an affiliate that's in the community that I do, it's generally one time, because I think right now it's going to grow from where it is to 2 million based upon referring to, right? And then not paying anymore. So it's not like you got a auto ship going, right? I know you understand that, Homo. It's not, okay, you signed up for this monthly deal and I'm making income every month. I'll make like you make like $4 if somebody doesn't refer their two on the 49. It's not, there's no money here that's worth doing it for the money from my point of view. But it can be substantial if in fact you really want to build a network. But again, I didn't want to get into that because really most people are just going to say, hey, I can do what I'm doing here, and now I can start developing what I've learned by connecting to people that maybe don't show up in the room at Richardson Plano Networkers. That's a beautiful thing when you think about it. I mean, that's a pretty efficient use of your most valuable asset. So that's kind of the game, at least as I see it. I don't know if everybody sees it that way in the community, but so far everybody has been as good or better than I expected as far as people I've connected with. And I'm excited to connect with more, just like I'm always excited when somebody new comes to Richardson Plano Networkers. Any questions that you had, Patricia Ann, or you hung around?
No, I've been networking since about 2000, and I have found that the integrity of the group is the most beneficial part of it. And most of the people in this group aren't interested in jewelry. They don't need my services, but they may have somebody in the family or friends. And a jeweler has to work off of trust.
Right.
And
I think really the funny thing is I've heard some people and again, I'm not bashing any industry, but I've heard some people come in, usually kind of new people, and they say, I need to do networking, and they're in financial services or insurance or, those kinds of things. Well, that's a big deal. And it doesn't matter what company you represent unless I know that you are a person that I can trust and that you're going to be around and I get to know you a little bit, right? Same thing with my jewelry. You can tell me a diamond is worth something and I don't know, or you can tell me not. So, it has to be trust. You're in that. But I don't think it's, it's more important in some of those. But the same thing with a coach like Barbara, people trusting them to guide them on a journey. Same thing I got. They're not going to, if they don't like me or trust me, they're not going to work with me.
People like me and trust me after they get to know me.
Right. But that takes time.
I was going to say that long-term relationships take a long time. And I've never considered myself a normal person. I'm into Corvettes and Harley Davidsons and I'm hanging out by the pool drinking beer. But
yeah, there are those people already in Be Connected that are there. We're just waiting for you to show up. Because again, we're all unique. And one of the things is I can tell, I want to pick on Barbara while she's sitting there in the airport with her mask on, and and I appreciate you hanging on. Barbara was
I'm here.
If you remember, Barbara was our speaker last Friday, and to tell you how fast things can occur, we didn't even do it with the connection generator, but we found out very quickly that underpinning there were some real alignment things that we both had, and the relationship took a nanosecond, and she became part of Be Connected right out of the box very quickly with not a lot of information. And that's the way it happens when you have relationships or you have that level of, it's hard to explain how powerful that connection generator is going to be in terms of getting to the people that are really going to become part of your core network.